Hello children, how are you all? Hope you all are fine. I welcome you all to Samveda e-learning program class 8 subject science. Today's chapter synthetic fibers and plastics session 3 by 3. So this chapter, as I told you, it is divided into 3 sessions. Today is the last session, that is page number 36 to 39. Before that, let's do a recapitulation. What all we have learned in the last previous session. Introduction to synthetic fibers, types of synthetic fibers. In that we have learned about rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic. What are the advantages of synthetic fibers, disadvantages of synthetic fibers and characteristics of synthetic fibers? These are the topics which we learnt in the last sessions. So, let us see what are the today's topic, what we are going to learn in this session. The main learning concepts of this session are introduction to plastics, types of plastics. In types we are going to learn about thermoplastics, thermosetting plastics, then polymers, may be natural or synthetic. Then we are going to learn about properties of plastics, advantages of plastics, what are the disadvantages of plastics, and environment. So, let us see what is the introduction to the plastics, what are plastics, what are they made up of, let us check. So, see children, these are all the articles which are made up of plastics which we are using in day to day life, and without plastic life is unimaginable. We cannot imagine life without plastic. Today's life without plastics cannot be imagined. Be at home or outside, plastics are everywhere. We have seen these all substances which are made up of plastics. We are using them. You are using, I am using, and we all together are using these substances which are made up of plastics. So, introduction to plastics. What are plastics? Let us see. Plastics are also polymers. They are polymers. So, we have learnt about polymers. What are polymers? They are made out of monomers. Many monomers joined together forms polymers. So, plastic is one of the polymer. It is a synthetic material which can be molded into desired shape. We can give the shape what we desire when it is soft. So, when the plastic is soft, we can give the desired shape, and then it can be hardened to produce a durable article after cooling. Then plastics also consist of very long molecules which are made by joining many small molecules. So, many small units are joined together to form a large molecule, that is nothing but it is a polymer, as plastic is a polymer. So, for example, one of the example is polyethylene or polythene. So, this polythene is made out of poly plus ethene. So, many units of ethene join together to form polythene. Polythene is a plastic. It is obtained by the process called polymerization. Polythene is obtained by polymerization of a chemical compound known ethene. So, ethene is the chemical compound. When it is polymerized, it results in the formation of polythene. And why this polythene is used? Polythene is mainly used in the making of polythene bags. All plastics do not have same type of arrangements or units. So, when we are making plastic, so all plastic does not consist similar kind of units or similar kind of arrangement. Based on the different kind of arrangement, the plastics are classified into linear arrangements. So, when they are arranged linearly and cross-linked arrangement, these are the two types of plastic based on their arrangements. So, what is a linear arrangements? So, here the monomer units are linked to one by one to each other. So, this is how a linear arrangement of plastic. The second way of arranging plastic is cross-linking arrangement. the monomers are crossed between each other. So, intercrossed, interlinked, this is what is a cross-link arrangement. So, you can see what is a cross-link arrangements. So, there are based on this two types of plastics are formed. Mainly plastics are divided into two types. One is called as thermoplastic, the other one is called as thermosetting plastics. These are the two types of plastic which we use in our daily lives. So, one by one we are going to study what is thermoplastic and what is thermosetting plastic. First, let us see what is a thermoplastic. So, these are the articles which are made up of thermoplastics which we can see in our day to day life. What are thermoplastics? Thermoplastics are the plastics which are very soft and flexible. They are soft and flexible. Thermoplastics, they are not elastic like rubber and like a steel spring, but the thermoplastic, they are flexible but they are not elastic in nature. Thermoplastic, they melt on warming. When you warm the thermoplastic, they start melting and they regain their shape back again on cooling. So, they are reversible plastics. You can gain the shapes. So, thermoplastics can be drawn into fine fibers, molded to any desired shape or stretched or spread as sheets. So, thermoplastic, you can convert them into fibers, also you can give them any shape of the container or you can spread them as a sheets. So, some of the examples of thermoplastics. So, examples are polythene, PVC, polyester, Teflon. These are the examples of thermoplastics. What are the uses of thermoplastic? So, based on the property, thermoplastic have various uses. They are used in making insulation of electric wires and cables. They are used for making various containers for storing our food items. They are also used for making combs and toys. They are used for making raincoats, seat covers of vehicles. They are used for making bristles of brushes and chairs. So, these are some of the uses of thermoplastic. We are using them. So, here you can see they are used. So, they are used for making cable wires, insulation wires. They are used for making containers. These containers are used for storing food grains. Then brushes, bristles brushes, then combs, toys, seat cover. So, these are some of the uses of thermoplastic where we can see them in our day to day life. The second type of plastic is thermosetting plastics. These thermosetting plastics, so what are their property, where we are using them, let us see. Other types of plastic which when molded, once when you mold them, you cannot get them back again. So, plastic which when molded once cannot be softened by heating. When you heat them, you cannot soften. So, these are called thermosetting plastic or thermoset. Then thermosetting plastic, by the action of heating, the thermoset plastic gains strength. So, when you heat them, they become more stronger. During heating, only the thermoset material changes its shape and it exhibits a cyclic structure. So, thermosetting plastic involve cross-link chain arrangements. By heating the polymer, thermoplastic, when you heat it, it turns into hard material and it is available in the form of liquid at room temperature. And these thermoplastic are non-recyclable process. So, they are non-biodegradable and they cannot be get back. Once used, they cannot get back again, you cannot get back them. So, these are the properties of thermosetting plastics. Where we are using these thermoplastics? So, some of the examples of these thermoplastics are famous examples bakelite and melamine. So, these bakelites and melamine, these are the thermosetting plastic which we are using in our day to day life. What is the bakelite? Bakelite is a thermosetting plastic which is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. Because of the property act as an insulator, So, this can be used for making electrical switches and handles of various utensils. So, you can see the uses. So, it is bakelite is used for making switch, it is used for making snooker balls, it is used for making handles of utensils. So, these are some of the examples of bakelite, and bakelite is one of the popular thermosetting plastic. The second thermosetting plastic which we are using is melamine. Melamine is a thermosetting plastic, is a versatile material. Because of its versatile nature, it resists fire and can tolerate heat better than plastics. So, because of this nature of melamine, it is used better for the resistance of heat. Where it is used? What are the uses of melamine? Melamine is generally used for making floor tiles. We are making the tiles. It is also used in kitchenware and fabrics which resist fire. So, you can look here, the tiles which are made up of melamine, the kitchenwares are made up of melamine, and also they are used in the making of some fabrics. So, these are some of the uses of melamine where we are using them in our day to day activities. So, what are thermoplastic? Was our thermosetting plastic we have learned. So, definition of thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. Let us do the comparison. So, here we can look here, thermoplastics can be easily bent, we can bend them easily, whereas thermosetting plastics, they cannot be bent easily. If you try to bend them, they will break. Same thing, thermoplastic softens on heating. When you heat thermoplastic, they become soft and they regain their shape after cooling. Whereas thermosetting plastic, when you heat them, they do not soften on heating. Thermoplastics can be molded and reshaped. So, once heating, they become soft and they can be molded back and reshaped can be given. Whereas thermosetting plastic cannot be molded and cannot be reshaped. When we see the cost wise, thermoplastics are expensive, whereas thermosetting plastics are cheaper, and thermoplastics, they are recyclable, we can get them again and again once molded or heated, whereas thermosetting plastic cannot be recycled, we cannot get back them. So, some of the best example of thermoplastics are example polythene and PVC, polyvinyl chloride. So, these are the examples of thermoplastics. When we look into the examples of thermosetting plastic are bakelite and melamine. So, these are the examples of thermosetting plastics. So, this here is the comparison between thermoplastic and thermosetting plastics. Let us see what are the properties of plastics. So, when we look into it, so plastic is a material of choice. Everyone choose plastic, it is an alternate to steel or any other metals. Easily available. The first property of plastic is non-reactive. That means it does not react with any of the chemicals. Because of this property, it is used for storing food items, it is used for storing water, it is used for storing milk, pickles, dry food items, etc. So, the containers to store these food items and beverages are made out of plastic. So, plastic container seems most convenient form to store these food items. So, you can look here children in the picture, you can see the plastic containers, plastic bottles, so which are used for storing different food items. Then second property of plastic is light, strong and durable. Light means it is lightweight, easy to carry. Strong means very strong, it is strength, it has more strength, and durable, it is long lasting, it lasts for a longer duration. So, the chairs which are made up of plastic in our home, it is one of the best example, and these plastics can be molded into different shapes. So, you can look here a plastic chair. So, based on the light, strong and durable property, whereas the second property is the plastic can be molded into desired shapes and we can give desired sizes also. Then the other property of plastics are cheaper generally the metals. Generally to metals, plastics are more cheaper and easily available. Plastic possess excellent electric insulating property. So, these plastic possess excellent insulating property means what? Plastics are poor conductors of electricity. Because of this property, they are insulator, they act as insulators. So, when you look at into the picture, you can see plastic jug, buckets, tray and other houseware articles. So, these are also made by metals. So, metals, what are the main thing? Metal is more expensive, it can corrode easily, it reacts with air and water, whereas plastic does not react with air and water, it do not corrode. So, this is one of the property and easily available. It is cost is less when compared to a metal. Metal bucket is more costlier than a plastic bucket. So, this is one of the property of plastic, and these plastics you can see the wire, they act as an electric. Copper wire is coated with plastic wire, that means easy to handle. So, we do not, it is a shock absorbent. So, we do not get shocked. Then coming to the uses of plastics. So, plastics are mainly used, extensively used in healthcare industries. The large amount of abundant use of plastic is in healthcare industries, in the hospitals. So, where it is used generally, the main important thing, the tablet which comes to your home from medicine shops. So, that the packaging of the tablets, it is made up of plastics. Then it is also used for the threads which are made up of plastics, used for stitching of wounds, and syringes. When you take injections, the injection molds, syringes are made up of plastics. The doctors which they use, the gloves, they are also made up of plastics, and very many number of medical instruments are made from plastics. The other type of plastic is Teflon. It is a special type of plastics. The oil and water do not stick on Teflon. Because of this quality, Teflon is one of the popular kitchenware. It is used in our kitchens like tawas, pans and different cookwares we are using, they are known as non-sticks. It is used for non-stick coating on cookwares. So, this is one of the property of plastics. So, Teflon is used in our day to day in our kitchenware. Then plastics, the other uses, it is used in fireproof plastics. Special types of plastics they are made, so they are fire resistant. So, especially the uniforms of firemen. So, you can look in the picture, the firemen, the fire brigade which comes to your home during the fire accident, the person he wears a uniform which is having a coating of melamine plastics. This melamine plastic, what it makes them? Flame resistant. So, they resist the fire. So, because of this property, so fireproof plastic, they are used for making uniforms for firemen, and these plastics are also used in micro ovens because they resist the temperature. Now, let us check what are the impacts of plastic on our environment. We learnt about the properties, uses of plastics. So, now let us learn about the plastic and the environment. So, you can see in our environment wherever we go to a beach, we go to a hill station, or we go to a forest, or we go to small park only, we can see everywhere plastic is dumped. So, what impact this plastic is having on the environment? What is a biodegradable substance and what is a non-biodegradable substance? So, what are biodegradable substances? The material which gets decomposes through natural process. So, biodegradable substances are those substances which can degrade naturally in the nature, by the process or by the action of some of the bacteria. So, the bacterial action, the microbial action helps in the decomposition of some material, decays. So, that process is known as biodegradable substances. So, some of the example of biodegradable substances are peels of vegetables and fruits, leftover foodstuffs, paper, cotton clothes, wood, etc. So, this is some of the example of biodegradable substances. They can be naturally degraded by the microbial actions, they can be decomposed. What are non-biodegradable substances? So, non-biodegradable substances are those substances, they are the material which do not get easily decomposed in the nature. So, by natural process they do not decompose. So, such substances are termed as non-biodegradable substances. Example, metals like tin, aluminium, metal cans, plastic bags, so plastic bottles. So, you can look in the pictures, children. So, these are some of the substances which do not decompose, they live for a long period in the nature. So, let us check how much time does some of the waste we throw, how much time it takes to degrade. Okay. Now, let us check what is the impact of this plastic on environment. So, we learned about biodegradable and non-biodegradable substances. So, here we learned that plastic is a non-biodegradable substance. That means what impact it is having if it is living for long years on the environment. So, plastics take several years to decompose. It is not environmental friendly. It causes environmental pollution. So, plastics, though it is not decomposing for many years, so it is not eco-friendly, and plus it has a long lasting impact on the environment. It causes environmental pollution. For example, the burning process of synthetic material is quite slow. So, when we are burning any synthetic material, it takes a slow period for burning and releases a lot of poisonous fumes into the atmosphere and causes air pollution. So, when plastics are burnt, you can see a huge smoke, a dirty smoke and dirty smell. So, if you breathe such smoke, what happens? It releases many poisonous gases and it is one of the cause for air pollution. So, these are the effects of plastic on environment. How to reduce the impact of plastics on the environment? So, what you have to do, children? So, avoid the use of plastics as far as possible. So, avoid it. Instead of plastic carry bags, what you are going to do? Use the bags which are made up of cotton or jute. Biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste which is released in your home or which is released in the society should be segregated and collected and disposed separately. Plastic waste should be recycled. Most of the thermoplastic can be recycled. So, use the plastic which can be recycled and develop habits which are eco-friendly or environmental friendly. Every citizen of a country should follow these 5R principles. What are these 5R principles? Reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, refuse. You should reduce the use of plastic, you should try to reuse the plastic, you should try to recycle the plastic, also try to recover and also say no to plastic. So, if every citizen says no to plastic, what are the ways to manage plastic waste? What you should do? So, do not throw plastic bags in the water bodies or on the road. Why you should not throw plastic bags in the water? Who are there in the water? In the water there are aquatic animals. So, these aquatic animals, when they swallow this plastic, so they lose their life. On the road, if you throw plastic bags, what happens? The animals, the cows or they graze. So, while grazing they intake these plastic bags, polythene bags. So, they also lose their life. So, better not to throw plastic bags in water bodies or on the road. Take a cotton carry bag or a jute bag while going for shopping. When you go to a shopping center, you carry your own bags there. Try to minimize the use of plastic materials. So, instead of using plastic boxes, containers, use steel lunch box instead of plastic one. So, this is one of the example how you can minimize the use of plastic materials in your day-to-day life. Okay children, in today's class what we have learned, let us do a small recapitulation. So, we have learned about introduction to plastics, types of plastics. In types of plastic, we have learnt about thermosetting plastics and thermoplastics. We have learnt about properties of plastics and what is the impact of plastics on the environment. So, and we also learnt about biodegradable and non-biodegradable substances. Then how to reduce the use of plastics and what are the ways to manage plastic waste. This is what we have learnt in today's class. So, hope you all enjoyed this class. Okay children, let us do one small activity. So, what you have to do? Make a list of different kinds of plastic containers that you use in your daily life. So, in your home, the different plastic containers which you are using in your day-to-day life, make a list of that and tabulate it. So, children, now it is the time for quiz. So, you all like to play quiz, right? So, what all we have learnt in today's session, we are going to have a small quiz on it. So, here comes the first question. Polythene and PVC are the examples of. So, let us see the options. First option A, biodegradable, B, thermosetting plastics, C, thermoplastic, D, rayon. So, what would be the answer children? Yes, exactly, the answer is thermoplastics. Very good. Okay, let us move on to the second question. The second question comes here. The coating on modern non-stick cookware and electric iron is of. The options are A, terracotta, B, rayon, C, polyester, D, Teflon. So, what would be the answer? Very good. The answer is Teflon. So, the non-stick cookware which are used in our kitchens, they are made up of Teflon. Very good. The third question comes here. The plastic which cannot be recycled. So, the options are A, jute, B, rayon, C, petrochemicals, D, bakelite. What would be the answer? Yes, very good. The answer is bakelite. The fourth question is like this. Pickles are stored in plastic bottles mainly because they are. Options: non-biodegradable, B, good insulators, C, durable, D, non-reactive. So, what would be the answer children? Yes, the answer is non-reactive. Very good. You all have attended very well the quiz. So, all of you, congratulations to all the students. Now, it is time for homework. Take out your pen and book. Please copy down the questions. The first question is, what are plastics? Mention its characteristics. Second question, differentiate between thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. The third question, why plastic containers are favored for food storing? The fourth question is, plastics are hazard to environment. Explain this statement. So, these are the 4 questions which you have to write as homework and please submit it to your teacher. So, hope you all will do your homework. Okay children, thank you very much. You all have enjoyed this session. So, this session was presented by Manju Singh, Assistant Teacher, Science, Swami Vivekananda, Rural English Medium High School, Chandapura, Bangalore 99. Thank you.